What's up, family? I'm Juan Castillo, and when I'm on social media, my favorite show to watch is the Don't Shoot the Messenger weekly podcast. Chris G, Professional Sutton, Rucker Report delivers sports the way it's supposed to be, real and authentic. So get ready to be entertained. My boys are ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
It's about me.
Professional Sunday. Chris G. And the Rucker Report.
What up, for real? All straight with no chaser. Let the game begin.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is about that time. It is about that time.
Gang.
Welcome to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And on behalf of our boy, Deshaun Rucker, it's the Rucker Report. Here we go. Chris, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, happy to be here, man. Happy to be live in the mic,
Yes,
the
sir.
mic. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir.
Like, great night. Great night last night. Great night last night.
Listen, well, speaking of great stuff, I see you the real Chris Kringle. You know, you got the tree in the back. You know what I mean? Doing your thug. Listen, man. Let me tell y'all something, yo. My boy Chris, he is the jack of all trades. If you don't know, man. If you don't know, my boy Chris is the jack of all trades, man. He do everything. But that's neither here nor there.
I didn't do that, though. The wife did that.
Okay. Listen, nobody's supposed to
The
know.
wife did that.
Take credit for that. He's supposed to be like, yeah, I did that. You see my work? You know what I mean? So last night, great fight. Well, for the fight, you know. Again,
Great fight.
I'm not a boxing expert like yourself, so I won't sit here and lie. But I'm going to give you the floor. I'll just ask questions, and if people want to chime in, please, people. Thank you if you just tuned in. We're talking about the fight between Errol Spence and Danny Garcia last night. So, Chris, what was your take on the fight, man, last night?
Well, first of all, great fight.
Okay.
It's always good. Look, it's always good no matter what you think of Danny Garcia. It's always, oh, come on, Larry. Why you got to do me like that? I wasn't even going to bring up the Ravens today. And you got to hit me off with, I know he ain't do that. Anyway, no matter what you think of Danny Garcia, he's a high-level boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He's 100% a high-level boxer. I don't think he's the elite of elite, but he is an elite high-level boxer, and it's always good to see two high-level boxers in there because, you know what I mean, you're going to see the best. Even though I don't think we necessarily got the best Errol Spence, I thought a lot of questions got answered last night about Errol Spence going forward and, how we would look after the horrific car accident and his durability. So, he took a couple good ones on the chin, seemed unfazed. Like he normally is. He's always had a good chin, and it wasn't really any doubt after he took a couple good shots that Danny wasn't going to knock this dude out. So that pretty much all Danny's chances of winning were, pretty much out the window after that. He established his jab. Like I said, I don't know if we talked about this on air or not, but I know I talked to you about it. I said, he's going to establish his jab. He's going to work on everything outside of that. And that's what he did. And once he got his jab established, the whole fight just was like Danny couldn't get past the jab. He even said it in the post-fight interview. He said it, in the presser after the fight. He was like, his jab was just on him in his face all night. And he set up things. I think Errol was maybe about 80%. 75%, somewhere in there of what we used to seeing him. His durability wasn't in question. I thought he got a little fatigued in the ninth, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th. I thought he looked a little tired, and he did say that his conditioning, he had a little bit of ring rust, and he got a little tired towards the end of the fight. And I thought you could see that. I thought he was aggressive because he's always aggressive, but he definitely didn't try to stop Danny. And I don't know if that was because, he wanted to stop Danny in the later rounds and he felt like he didn't have the gas to do it, or, that he did catch Danny with some good shots, and maybe he felt like I will have to risk too much to try to knock him out. So he just kind of stepped off the gas a little bit. But all in all, I thought it was a great fight. It was good to see Spence back in the ring. Danny gave him a good, solid test. I mean, for that to be your tune-up fight after being off for 14 months after a car accident like that, that speaks volumes of the type of competitor and the type of boxer that Spence is. So, with all of that being said, now the world is waiting, man. Yeah. The world is waiting. There's only one fight to be made. Now, the Manny fight is always going to be out there because that's the money fight, and everybody want to get the money. So I wouldn't begrudge Spence or Crawford if that was the next fight they got, because I understand they want to get that bag. And as big of a bag as they'll get fighting each other, Manny's still the bag. So
right,
I understand that. But in short of that, one of them getting that fight and then the other fighter just going, well, I gotta stay active. Other than that, man, there's nothing else to be done, man. Listen, Terrence Crawford contract with Top Rank is coming to an end. If I'm not mistaken, it's over sometime in the first quarter of January. First of the year of 2021. So that first quarter. So anywhere between January and March. I believe that's when it's up. When it's up, first thing is, do not re-sign with Top Rank. And that's from Crawford. Listen, Crawford could do a lot of things, but he's not bringing people over to Top Rank to fight. They're not doing it. Obviously, I mean, we've seen it since he's been there. He thought that if he stayed there as a top welterweight, that other boxers would come over there to fight, and they don't, because Al Heyman does not like Bob Arum, and vice versa. So that's not happening. So if he wants to get a fight with any of the top welterweights, definitely on the PBC side, definitely Errol Spence. That's the fight. That's what he got to do. He got to either become a free agent or he's got to sign with PBC and make that fight happen. Because that's it, man. That's it. Shout out to Larry. Listen, Dana White, he deserves some credit for what he does because he's able to put those big fights together. But he's also a tyrant.
Yes, very much so.
Dana White. So the good thing about Dana White with UFC is he can make all the fights happen. That's very true. In boxing, though, you can't do that, though, because this is the Muhammad Ali Act, where the promotion or the promoter can't promote fighters and also have control of all the belts. It's a conflict of interest. It's a bill that actually got passed by Senator John McCain, actually, a long time ago. So what he does is in UFC is that's why he can make all of those fights, but only the top 2 to 3% of UFC fighters get paid. Where in boxing, it's more spread out. It's just it's more. I mean, as much as we don't like him, coon number one, Adrian Broner, is $1 million baby. And if y'all don't know what $1 million baby is,
you can't count it.
Well, I'm just saying, every fight that Adrian Broner he getting less than $1 million. And we talking about there's guys that in UFC that are way more accomplished, established, that don't get $1 million a fight. I mean, honestly, there's only a few, like Conor, John, Khabib, maybe DC. Gets real thin after that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Real thin after that.
Crazy.
Brock, when he fights, I mean, you only talking about dudes that could, 1, bring in the pay-per-view share, 2, have a belt, and then are like solidified stars. So Larry is right in the sense that there's too many belts. They do need to like consolidate. Too many belts. They need to do something about that. Too many promoters. They need to do something about that. A lot of corruption. They need to do something about that. There's a lot of things, but
that's
there's a lot of things in boxing, but Dana got his own problems too, because it's a reason why he about to lay off 60 UFC fighters at the end of the year. He said major layoffs are coming, huh?
I said, for real? Shit.
I'm dead serious. He said it in the press after the UFC fight night last night. 60 UFC fighters is getting laid off.
Why is that?
So, money, pandemic, and I'm gonna fucking kill this gnat that's like flying around. Anyway, it's like right there. It's annoying the shit out of me. But he's not the guy. Believe me, Dana White got his good qualities, but he's definitely got his bad qualities too. But yeah, too many promoters, too many sanctioning bodies. They need the 2 belts. That's what they need, honestly. 2 belts. And if I had to pick the 2 belts, I would say WBC, even though the WBC is corrupt as all corrupt can be, but that is most of the time the WBC has a lineage. Most of the time the WBC belt is the linear belt for that division. You know what I mean? Like the champ where you could trace it all the way back to the unified champ most of the time comes to the WBC belt. So you got to keep the WBC. And I would say keep either the WBA or the IBF. One of those 2. And just have 2 belts. That's it.
Okay. It's sad when you talk about UFC and these guys put their life on the line, and only what you said, maybe 4 or 5 guys really.
I'm talking about getting like $1 million.
Man,
it's like a handful of guys. He don't really pay. Granted, they'll get like 300,000, 400,000, 100,000. I'll say this: like the medium guys for UFC, the medium guys, the lower tier guys, they get paid better than the obscure boxers would, or the medium boxers. But any boxer that you're gonna see on TV, for the most part, that's headlining, is something close to $1 million. Most of them. Then you got a couple that are around the 700,000 range, 500,000 range. A few of them, but like Tank making $1 million. He just fight. Terrence is making more than $1 million. Spence is making $1 million. For instance, so here's a good way to compare it. So I'm gonna take 2 boxers. I'm gonna take a boxer and a UFC guy, both high level. So Deontay Wilder,
okay,
boxer. Now Deontay Wilder probably made something to like $20 million his last fight.
Damn.
Against Fury.
Okay.
Everybody knows Deontay. Deontay is a household name. Now, compared to John Jones, who do you think is the more popular figure?
Wilder?
Longevity-wise, pay-per-view-wise, who do you think is the more popular figure?
It's tough, but I'm gonna say who's been out? John Jones. He's. But
I would say this: John Jones is far and away more popular than Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
From the aspect of being at the top of his sport, he's been the top guy in his sport for 10 years.
Okay. Wilder
maybe like 5. He's got way more pay-per-view buys than Wilder. The numbers are not even comparable. Wilder Fury, I think it barely cracked $1 million, or it didn't even crack $1 million pay-per-view buys. John Jones got multiples of that. John Jones maybe gets 1.5 million for a fight. Wilder gets 20. Now, that's a big discrepancy, is it not?
A huge discrepancy.
You would say
I'm bringing him more money.
You would say John Jones is at least on the level of Deontay Wilder as a for MMA as Wilder is for boxing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with my take that John Jones is the bigger name, you would still say that they're on the same level.
Hambone said that those numbers are skewed.
Which numbers? I can break it down. I mean, if you want to say that they're skewed from the fact that when Wilder fights, it's Wilder and whoever he's fighting in the undercard is trash. And then when John Jones fights, there's, UFC has a better card and there's multiple good fights on that card. So that could skew why the pay-per-view numbers for the UFC are better than boxing. That's reasonable. We can have that debate. But John Jones is still the headline. And most of the people that are buying that fight are buying it to see John Jones, even if they're bringing in more because the undercard is better. I'll say this: the UFC undercard is always better than boxing. You can watch the undercard of UFC. For boxing, it's tough to watch the undercard. Well, you know what? That part is true, but for the time that, everybody can see that, right? I don't gotta.
Yeah.
Right.
I say yeah.
So that is true for about his first 6 years, but at the same time, he's had to deal with it as of late, just like Wilder. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't say in the past 6 years that John Jones hasn't had pay-per-view fights, because he has, and he's done better in the past 6 years than Wilder has done with his pay-per-view fights. That's just true. So, when he was making his claim to say I was gonna go up to listen, the Fire Stick and all of the illegal piracy that goes on,
alleged
that goes on in the world, those definitely dramatically affect the way pay-per-view numbers are dealt with these days. I wouldn't deny that at all. At the same time, the UFC, John Jones, when he fights, has to deal with those same hurdles that Wilder and any other boxer has to deal with, and he still puts up the numbers. Well, I could, we could look them up. We could look up the numbers and see. I could tell you, it ain't close overall. Wilder not even I'm going to be honest with you. Wilder not even a huge pay-per-view star. If I'm going to be honest with you, the king of pay-per-view right now for boxing is Canelo Alvarez. He pales in comparison to what Floyd Mayweather was when Floyd Mayweather was still, boxing on a regular basis. But Canelo is undoubtedly the pay-per-view king right now. And I'm not just saying this because the fight just happened. Number 2 is Errol Spence, honestly. The Mikey Garcia fight was huge when he fought Mikey Garcia, and then the Sean Porter pay-per-view fight was huge. Wilder's only really successful pay-per-view was the 2 Tyson Fury fights, if we're going by those numbers. Now, granted, to piggyback on what Larry Love was saying, the pay-per-view numbers, they are different now. First of all, that one of the reasons that they charge $80 for fights now is because of all of the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Right, well, you used to be able to charge $50.
Yeah.
Because, it just wasn't all of these websites and, Fire Stick and all of the things that are up there to be able to watch a fight for free. They didn't have to worry about that, so they could charge $50. But now, since they got to add that in now, they got to go, listen, we're not going to make as much money because as hard as we're going to try, because, listen, I don't know, because I watched the fight the right way, but I heard there was a lot of buffering last night if you were trying to watch the Errol Spence. I don't know anything about that. Because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I pay to watch my fight. Don't you quit?
Yes, I do.
I pay my money, These guys work hard, and I pay my money. But what I heard was you had to keep, flipping between, the 3 pay-per-view channels that it was on these free app or, these semi-annual, you got to pay apps so you could watch stuff for a fraction of the price. I don't know this to be true. But I heard people had to watch it on on the iPad and watch it on the TV to kind of get through the buffering. But listen, I don't know.
So he pays $5.
He's paid $5. Larry, if Hambone want to put himself out there like that, that's all. I personally, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
There you go.
That's all I got to say about that.
I know you are, brother. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So just to wrap up the boxing real quick, if I know it's different because you got the different promotions and different things like that. Let's just say, no, you know what? Not let's just say, you're the expert, Chris. You know what's gonna happen. You're pretty good. You coined Negro Dominance on the show. What do you think will happen with Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford fight? What is it looking like?
Yo, not great.
Okay.
Not great. I'm not gonna lie. It's not looking great. I would say it's gonna be. It's a lot of factors that is gonna make. First of all, people need to stop acting like this will be the first time like the two top guys in the division didn't fight each other. It happens all the time in boxing. Unfortunately, it happens all the time in boxing. I would say you got a couple factors that are the major factor. The first factor is the A side. I don't know if people know what the A side is. A side, B side, lion's share.
Hey, Chris, for the people that don't know what A side, please tell them break it down. Tell them what the A side.
The A side is the person who dictates the fight. The person who dictates. So, in simple terms, when Floyd Mayweather fought somebody, he was always the A side. Always. I'm the draw. I'm the biggest star. I'm the biggest name. So, all of those things factor. So, they got a problem, Spence and Crawford, on who's going to be the A side. From a resume standpoint or from a longevity standpoint, Terrence Crawford makes a good case of why he should be the A side. From a number standpoint and who's the most popular right now, Spence makes the argument for why he should be the A side. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for one of them. And I don't know which one.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. Let me stop it. Angelo Rodriguez, shout out to my boy, man. He from Cleveland, man. He about to go down there to the South. I just want to say real quick, he was love our show, support Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, but he said you and Rucker going crazy. He said, y'all delusional. He said that's why he had to get off. I just want to say that, but we'll talk about that.
Well, hold on. So he's right with Oscar. That was the last time that Floyd Mayweather was the B side. So I mean, so what year was that? 2005? 2005. But to be fair to
Angelo, aka Dan Rule.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Floyd wasn't Money Mayweather until after he beat Oscar De La Hoya. So he was the A side sometimes in fights. But he was the B side in a bunch of fights before he got to he was the B side when he fought Diego Corrales. He was the B side when he fought Arturo Gatti. So coming up to that point, he had been B side sometimes. So I'm not debating that. I'm just saying when he ended his career after the Oscar De La Hoya fight, he was never the B side again. I mean, I didn't want to have to. I didn't know I was gonna have to break that point down. But after the Oscar De La Hoya fight, Floyd Mayweather was never the B side again, ever. That was the last time, because at the time, Oscar was the A side until Oscar retired. Well, I mean, listen, it was a point where he became the A side. You know what I mean? There's always a point where you finally become the A side. So he wasn't always the A side, but you know what I mean? Like once he made himself a dominant fighter in those divisions, he was the A side until he lost to Manny Pacquiao. That was his last fight, and that was the end of Oscar's A side reign. After that, it was all Floyd. All Floyd. Now, to his other point, top grossing boxers. I'm not top grossing boxers. I would say, can you put that list up again?
Which one? The top grossing? I never had that list. It was just the B side.
No, he had put up. He was like the top grossing boxers. He had like Wilder. Anthony Joshua.
Oh, he had that. Let me see.
I just to go through to go through that.
Here we go.
Top grossing fighters. Canelo, Manny, Anthony Joshua is not close to any of them. That is also true. But we're talking about in terms of, I don't know when you hopped on. We're talking on in terms of Spence versus Crawford. Crawford don't earn as much as Spence. Crawford hasn't even had a pay-per-view fight yet. But in the sense of who makes the most money, I'm on that's a fine list. Canelo is the king right now. That's just no doubt about that. And then you would have to add at the end of that list probably Triple G, because he's on a big contract right now too with the Zone for a lot of money. So he would be in those top grossers right now. But I wasn't comparing Spence to the top boxers of what they make. I'm talking about the welterweight division as currently constructed. And like I said earlier, the only fight that would make sense if they don't fight each other would be the Manny fight, because Manny gets you the bag, even though the Crawford-Spence fight would be big. I also agree with the point that I believe that Spence is the A side, because he's the pay-per-view fighter. He had more pay-per-views, and he had more successful pay-per-views. Crawford has zero pay-per-views.
Wow.
Well, listen, you got to talk to Bob Arum for why he got zero pay-per-views. He got zero. So, that's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not because he's not talented, and it's not because he couldn't bring in a draw. I wouldn't base it on that. That's his promotion. You know what I mean? Like Lomachenko had pay-per-views. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me think about that for a second. I don't think Lomachenko had a pay-per-view, actually. I need to think about that a little bit. Okay. I don't think he's had a pay-per-view, honestly. So, you got to bring Bob Arum. Bob Arum does things the way he wants to do things. He's old. He is what he is.
How is he still allowed to do that, man?
Because Bob is the promoter.
Okay.
Yeah, well, listen, that's the reason why Oscar and Floyd had a problem with Bob Arum, as Angelo brought it. That's the reason why Floyd spent all of the money he had left to get out of his contract with Bob Arum. And that's why Oscar De La Hoya, said, I'm out of here. Because Bob Arum he's a guy. He is a guy. And yeah, both of
them are more successful after
far more. Oh, listen, the things that Bob Arum are saying about Terrence Crawford now are some of the same things he was saying about Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if he's promotable, the way he fights, blah, 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 blah. And then Floyd said, you know what? I'll bet on myself. $750K to buy out his contract. That is exactly correct. Wow. He said, you know what? I'll do it myself. Hence the persona Money Mayweather. He was pretty boy. He was pretty boy before that.
You know what? And I think people got to understand whenever you're talking about sports, first and foremost, it is called entertainment. You have to entertain, and it is the business. And I think people, they don't understand that. If you just tune it in, you are tuned into the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. People got to understand, when Floyd went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, I personally loved it, because that's when people started to understand the business side of it. Even with Oscar De La Hoya, when he started doing his modeling, people got to understand the amount of money you dish out. Because, again, I didn't know this for a long time until I started reading articles. You got to pay taxes on this money, depending on the state in which you are fighting or competing in. It is a lot of money. Especially, that's why they like to go to Vegas instead of Cali in New York, because not only that, but you got to pay the promoter, you got to pay your manager, you got to pay your lawyer. It's so many people to be paid out. So when people look at Floyd, he made all this money, but he still has to dish out that money so he can be comfortable. And so many of these other sports entertainers. So that's why when they do what they want to do, hence NBA too, and they want to put themselves in a better predicament to make more money, I'm fine with that. Because it's not just, you just paying FICA and you paying your health insurance. No, you got to pay serious taxes depending on where the fight takes place. And that's why you won't see a lot of fights happen in California. I know that they're moving to Texas now, But
no state tax.
Right. You know what I mean? State don't have no state tax in Texas.
Texas, no state tax.
No state tax. Yep. Because when I lived there, nope. You ain't get a state income tax, but you ain't had to pay state tax either. So, these fighters are finding ways to, one, help their career, get that longevity, but they're also finding ways to make more money and to keep the money. So I love it. I love when Floyd was Money Mayweather and people started taking notice. And people say, oh, he's just too glamorous. But the same people that hated Floyd are the same people that was trying to watch. And no, not trying to, who are watching and paid to see if he would get knocked out. So that's the beauty of it.
Well, that was the appeal of Floyd. I mean, especially with his style. He made you not like him. So you tuned in. I mean, unless you was like a boxing purist like myself, you tuned in because you was hoping that the dude was going to beat Floyd.
Yeah.
But,
But it ain't happened. So let me read Angelo's comment. Shouts out to Angelo. He's been putting up a lot of game. And I'm reading this because there's a lot of people who listen afterwards via podcast. Angelo said, and Floyd paid his opponents when he was running his own stuff. He paid for the promotion, the opponent's purse, and the venue. And he also said Floyd only fights in Vegas.
Well, he got a lot of cachet in Vegas. So it was very beneficial to him to only fight there. To piggyback on what Angelo was saying, this is also true. That's why it was a little bit misleading sometimes when he would talk about, I'm getting like 350 million for this fight, 250. But it wasn't solely because he was fighting. It was because he was the promoter. It was because he was paying out of pocket for the other, like the dude's purses that he was fighting. When they would get their purse, that was coming out of Floyd. Just because Floyd was reaping in all the pay-per-view buys. He was reaping in the gate buys. He was reaping in, everything. He paid for the promotion. So when they go on promotion tours and go to the city and they do their face off and talk joint, he was paying for all of that so he could reap on the back end. So, you know what I mean? He was very strategic in the way that he did it. And a lot of boxers would like to model in that fashion, but it's very hard to do. Hard to do.
One thing that I would say is that a lot of these boxers are taking that Floyd approach. I think Adrian Broner, cool number one. I think he's trying to, but he got to get the wins. But again, people don't understand when they talking junk, marketing is part of it. Like that
to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff
to a degree. Like Floyd was far more advanced, as Angelo had brung up. He was far more advanced. Like a lot of people got their own promotion. Danny Garcia got his own promotion. DSG, Errol Spence got his own promotion. Man Down promotion. Canelo's got his own promotion. Like everybody got their own thing, but nobody was handling it like Floyd was handling it. You know what I mean? You can make you can make the argument that no boxer ever did it like Floyd did it.
Not even. Hold on. So
to put up that much.
I just want to read this comment and then I have a question. Angelo says it's crazy. In 10 years, he, meaning Floyd Mayweather, made over $900 million. Yes, $900 million. That's nuts. They say his net worth today is over $560 million. Wow.
Sound about right.
And Hambone, shouts out to Hambone, love my brother, man. He said, trash talking got to fit your style. Meaning, if you're talking junk, you got to be believable, but you also got to back it up. You can't be talking junk and get knocked the hell out because after a while, it's not going to work. And to piggyback on what Chris was saying, with with Floyd, running his own promotion, he said outside of Oscar, that was the closest. Talking about
I would say Oscar was the closest because when he was the A fighter and he was the main draw, he was very close to how Floyd did it, but he didn't start doing it like Floyd did it until he retired and made Golden Boy Promotions, and then he was getting it like that.
I was about to ask you, so has there ever been a boxer to do it like that, like having their own promotion while they still were fighting? Or
listen, like I said, there's a ton of boxers that got their own like promotion thing, but it's not. There's levels.
I'm talking about before Floyd. I'm talking about and then just who was like a notable boxer that had their own promotion and they were successful. I mean, not to the degree as Floyd, but were successful in that process.
Define successful.
Making money, not taking a lot of losses. Boxing, you take a huge. It's a huge risk when you're doing it. From like back in the day, like did like Larry Holmes do it? I know.
Oh no, not back then.
Okay.
Not back then. No.
Okay. All right.
Not that far back.
Angelo said that the Charlos are doing it now.
They got their own, but the Charlos are at a level. You know what I mean? Like I like the Charlos. Don't get me wrong. I think theirs is like Lion Heart or like Lions Only or something like that. That's the name of their promotion. Listen, I'm just saying as of right now, there's a ton of boxers that got their own promotion. There's a ton of boxers that got their own fighter. There was a point, and you might not remember, it was a point where Adrian Broner had fighters under him. There was a point.
Okay.
Listen, it's once you become like a good prize fighter, you could Lions Only.
Lions Only.
Once you become a good boxer, you could get some other boxers to sign up under you. But will they pop or not? Like for instance, none of Floyd Mayweather boxers really popped. Honestly,
that's crazy. You know what?
He did.
You know what?
Was great.
Besides Young Money, anytime like a entertainer has people under him, is really not successful. I don't know why. It's like he had Javion. What's his name? Something Love, Jadavion Love or something like that. He was garbage. He did recently have. Well, I mean, now he's got better guys. Obviously, he got Tank and stuff like that. But when he was boxing, his stable was trash. But I think
all of them was trash. But Ishai Smith was probably the best boxer he had when he was boxing. When Floyd was still boxing and hit the people he had. Oh, Badu. Well, no. But I'm saying Badu Jack and Tank are now after he's done fighting. I'm talking about why he was currently fighting. The best fighter he had under his stable was Ishai Smith.
But but isn't it kind of hard to have fighters under you while you're still fighting? That business side is tough, isn't it? Or is that just naive?
You just pick bad fighters. It's not that tough. You don't got to do nothing. You know what I mean? You got to do stuff as far as promoting, but you know how to do that. As far as picking talent. Yeah, if Badu was under him while he was boxing, then I'll put Badu. I don't remember Badu Jack being under him while he was currently boxing. Badu Jack is good. Is he like great or anything? I would say no, but he's a very, very good fighter, solid fighter. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Shakur Stevenson is under like Crawford now.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know he run with Crawford and he run with Andre Ward. So that's good for Shakur. It's not. Listen, you know how to pick boxers or you don't. So So
basically, Chris, a lot of these boxers should just have their own promotion. How does that work? Because I know it's a lot of people out there listening, and they're probably saying, "Well, why don't they just get their own promotion instead of going under someone after a certain amount?"
Well, look, you got to have the money. You know what I mean? You got to put up a lot of money. You got to put up a lot of your own capital. That's a lot of betting on yourself. And some of these fighters don't feel that comfortable with betting on themselves.
Okay.
So that's all. That's all on you. You know what I mean? Floyd had already bet on himself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like Floyd had already said, I'll go broke betting on me because I know I'm that good. Yeah. A lot of boxers don't feel like that. A lot of boxers aren't business savvy.
You're right.
They could get and Floyd also had a good team. He had a real good team. Mm-hmm. He had Leonard Ellerby, who was in his corner and was running part of the business side with him. And Leonard Ellerby, very good in the boxing business. And he also had Al Heyman on his team. You know what I mean? And that's really how Al Heyman, after Al Heyman kind of like got in business with Floyd, Al Heyman was able to separate, and then Al Heyman got all these stables to fight.
Yeah, I didn't realize, and again, I know
Al Heyman is not a promoter. I always tell this to people. He's not a promoter
like that. Yo, listen, I didn't realize he had a lot of pullback. Al Heyman's, watching all these interviews, I didn't realize Al Heyman has a hand in a lot of business stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking about from Death Row days too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that he made a lot of stuff go. and he made a lot of stuff not go as well. I didn't realize that.
Oh, Richard Schaefer too. Yeah. Richard Schaefer had a lot of pull. Richard Schaefer also worked with Oscar as well. Richard Schaefer, another good one. Very important.
Who is Richard Schaefer?
It's a white dude.
But what does he do? Is he a promoter? Like, is he just a kind of consultant, if you will?
Let's go with the consultant. Knows how to do boxing business. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the CEO of Golden Boy Promotion at one point.
Okay.
But again, not a promoter. And that's why a lot of people don't like Al Heyman. That's why Bob Arum specifically doesn't like Al Heyman, because Al Heyman is not a promoter.
I thought he was a promoter. Again, me being a novice, I thought he was a promoter because anytime you hear Bob Arum, you hear Al Heyman.
He's got pulled like a promoter. He's an advisor. He's an advisor, and he's such a good advisor that people will treat him like he's the promoter. They'll be like, well, I got to talk to Al Heyman and see what we want to do. But Al Heyman, he's the curator of PBC boxing. People work with him in tandem, but he's technically not what Bob Arum is as a promoter. That's why you never see him. You rarely ever see him.
I didn't realize he was a black guy until I started within the past few years. So Hambone said Al Heyman and Suge Knight were college roommates, classmates. And Angelo said Oscar was mad he didn't monetize off of Richard's contribution, so he was upset as fuck. And he also said Richard used to run a Swiss bank. He knew he
knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Richard Schaefer big in the boxing game. So that's what I'm saying. You got to remember, at one point, all these people was in Mayweather's team.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of people who knew what they were doing, and everybody else, they got their own promotion, but they don't have the guidance and the financial capital to gain off of it like Floyd did.
Yeah. Real quick,
we could talk about that all day, man.
Real quick, if you just tuning in, you're tuning into the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast, and we do want to thank our sponsor, 94.3 WYBC,
the rhythm of the city.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want to jump into NFL. NFL, if everyone is still here, thank you, everybody who's still rocking with us. Appreciate the love. Week 12, we got some important games going on again. I'm still trying to get in the feel of things. My 49ers. We still trying to hang in there. We're still trying to hang in there. We're still trying to get in there. Angelo, I know you're Browns. I know you're happy to be a Browns fan this time around.
You're a Browns fan?
Yes, he is.
They got a tough one today.
I know it's been tough.
They got a tough one today. Has it really been tough for the Browns? I mean, honestly, they're 8-3. They listen, boxing needs its shine, okay? It needs its shine.
That's what he said. He said, this is why I love the show. It's so unpredictable and just flows with what the hot topic is. Yes, listen, this is Don't Shoot the Messenger, the People's Podcast. We're not here to say, okay, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that.
No. Say it right. We're not ESPN and Fox, where we're obligated to talk about the Cowboys. We're obligated to talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady.
That's it.
We got to bring them up in we got to at least have a segment with them in. Now, we not them. I hate that. I let me tell you, I deeply hate it.
They hate it too, man.
Oh, man. The heat in this room right now, though.
Hambone said Brown fans exist. And, I want to talk about it. And before we do jump to that, I do want to get to these comments. Angelo said, boxing is legit. Spent my life around sports fighting and training. Love the coverage. Hey,
Angelo, we got to have, one of these days, we got to have me, and I didn't know he was such a big boxing fan, and I love it. And
he's such a shoe guy as well.
Well, that's what Ruck. I ain't a shoe guy. You and Ruck are the shoe dudes.
My kicks are coming today, Angelo. They ain't come yet, but they will be here today. I checked the package. Can't wait till they come.
But I was going to say, we got to have Angelo and Anthony on the show together with me, and we need to really get some heated boxing talk going.
Yes. Yo, these comments are dope. Angelo said, yes, Brown fans exist 30 plus years. He said, lots of heartbreak. Hambone say, sorry to hear that. And then Angelo said, I love all sports. Yes, you do, man. Guess we do. Now, Chris, I do want you to talk shit. I do want you to talk shit. I do want you to talk and what they got going on. Because I heard you say he ain't born. I want to get on the Ravens. Yes, you will get on the Ravens. What's going on with the Ravens, man?
I wasn't gonna get on the Ravens. They start talking about he know I ain't put up this tree. Like you don't know that.
Oh, Chris,
I didn't. The wife did, but you don't.
Don't matter.
It
You know,
don't
Chris,
matter.
yes, you did because you guys are one.
Right, that's right. We won. She's an extension of me, so you know, part of me went into that tree.
Yes, she's your rib. You know what I mean? So
Part of me went into that tree, just like part of me went into her. So,
just a little bit. Now, are the Ravens in trouble, Chris? Are they in trouble?
No, they're about to go on a run.
Okay,
Ravens about to go on a run. I'm telling you that right now. So, I mean, look, they lost. It was unfortunate what happened when they had to play the Ravens, and I think it was unexpected that they lost to the Patriots. Okay. So those were 2 L's I don't think that they had penciled in. But the rest of their schedule, they about to run this. What, they got 5 games left? 4 games left?
Yep.
4 games left?
Yeah, 4 games.
They 7-5, right?
Handball will tell you that. I don't even care.
I think they're 7-5. They're gonna be 11-5. They're gonna be 11-5.
Angelo said the Ravens got some issues right now. Lamar, huge regression. QB sweeps ain't effective as last year. Still developing a passer.
That may be so.
We are having a disappointing season. We are 6-5. We will finish 11-5.
Yeah, I agree with him 100%. They do have some problems. I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender. I think, but I do think they're going to win the rest of the games on their schedule. And I also believe that when they get to the playoffs, if they got to play the Steelers, they're out. If they got to play the Chiefs, they're out. If they got to play the Tennessee Titans, they're out. If they got to play the Colts, they're out. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how successful they'll be once they get to the playoffs, but I got full confidence that they're going to end the season 11-5 and be in the playoffs.
Let me get their schedule up here. Hold on, Chris. Let me see what they got here. Hold on. I want to see what their schedule looking like, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, what is their schedule looking like? You know, moving forward. So let me put it up on the screen here. Shouts out to StreamYard who holding me down, man. Love you guys. Let me go to the Ravens schedule. Okay, so you can see the Ravens schedule. So they gotta play the Browns, and then they gotta play Jacksonville, Giants, and Bengals. Yes. Now, should they be concerned about the Browns? Should they?
No. Listen, no disrespect to Angelo and the Browns, but the Browns didn't beat a good team all year. They didn't beat the Ravens when they played them. The Browns have benefited from a bad schedule. I mean, they had not a bad schedule, an easy schedule. And I have yet to see them put up a good performance against a quality ranked team. I mean, you can make the same assessment of the Ravens, too. They haven't really beat a good team yet either. But they beat the Browns badly, if I'm not mistaken, the first time they played.
Angelo said it's the Chiefs and the Titans, in my honest opinion, for the AFC, only 2 built for success.
Oh, no, you got to put the Steelers in there.
Yeah.
You got to put the Steelers in there.
Shouts out to the neighbor, Kenny, baby. What's good, baby? You got to come over one day, man. He said Ravens lost to every good team. That could be said. Also, Angelo said, he said, I'm not hyping Baker. Laugh my ass off. He is ass. Just because I'm stating facts about Lamar's one-dimensional regression doesn't mean I'm saying Baker's good. It's irrelevant to the comment. Laugh my ass off. Don't be hurt. I love when you argue.
Well, no, listen. I mean, he's got Lamar has definitely had a couple steps back this year. Baker Mayfield, and I'm gonna let you get on that one second. Baker Mayfield is at his best when the ball is out of his hands and they running that ball.
Yes.
And that's just the truth with the Browns. When the Browns can run the ball and put it in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb hands, they can be competitive. As soon as you need Baker, it's out. It's out. Now, listen, if the Ravens, though, on the other hand, if they can't control and get a lead and play with a lead, they're no good either. Because if you got to come behind, if the Ravens got to come from behind and have Lamar pass you back in the game, you in a world of trouble as well. So, they both – the Steelers, though, on the other hand, Even though I know they just lost Bud Dupree, and that's a major injury, especially after losing Wimbush earlier this year. They still got the best defense in the AFC North. They still got the best offense in the AFC North, and they still got the best coach in the AFC North.
True.
Did I say quarterback? They got the best quarterback as well. So, like, you know what I mean? They're set.
So let me read some of these comments, man. Shouts out to everybody that's tuning in again. We got my man Kenny Roberts, also Jermaine Agnew, fellow Hyde alum. He said Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl and they are going to beat Pittsburgh next week. First, I got to worry about my Niners. So think it ahead of yourself. As my man, as the old saying go, you can't put the wagon before the horse. Kenny said Ravens will lose to the Browns and Giants. Okay.
That's just preposterous. That is just preposterous.
And then Angelo said, nah, I agree. Just because I'm a Browns fan doesn't mean I'm biased. Keeping it 100, we got a lot of problems on both sides. Jermaine reiterated his Buffalo Bills take. And he said, yes, Steelers, I admitted them in error.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're desperately tripping. We'll beat both of them. Okay.
Yeah, they'll be, yeah. I'll tell you this, though, to Angelo's point. If they had a better quarterback, the Browns would be scary.
I agree.
They would be scared. Baker, I don't know what the thing is with Baker. I don't know if it's that he thinks he's better than he really is.
Yes, that's he gets a lot of slack. And that's listen, whenever you're a white quarterback in the NFL, you get more rope to hang yourself with.
Hold on. But that's one aspect. I don't know if it's that or if he's just really not good, like at all. I'm torn because it's not. I can't say that he's devoid of talent, but I don't know. It's a funny dynamic with him, and I can't put my finger on it.
2.0. That's what I'm just saying.
See, that's what I don't want to go that far.
I'm going that far.
I don't want to go that far, but at the same time,
I mean, come on, listen. With all the weapons around you, I think that you have been put in a situation where your weaknesses have been hidden because you have a great run game. You had solid receivers, good tight end. So everything that you need is around you. Even if you're not, great, again, look at Ryan Tannehill, let's just say if, Ryan Tannehill was on a Brown. I think he'd be, But again, when you have enough around you to hide your weaknesses, that's what makes you a pretty decent quarterback. And Baker Mayfield, I think, he's thinking too much. He's not letting the game come to him like he should. And also, again, not knocking him, but I'm knocking him, but also his age and experience. I think that when he gets to that age, give him about 2 more years and he understands the game, like, you know what? I don't have to do too much because I have all this around me. And I think he's from the era of I want to make big plays. I want to make the YouTube plays. No, just let the game come to you. You'll be fine. So that's what I'm saying. Angelo says, I agree. We need better linebackers and safety. Offensively, we have everything but a quarterback. Yes. And Kenny, come on. He said Matthew Stafford tracks. Kenny, stop it. Now, Kenny is a Titans fan. Kenny's a Titans fan.
Okay.
So, of course he won't go there. He said Baker winning games, the Ravens not. So this is a lot of.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the Browns are winning games, but they got a soft schedule, man. They, like, you can't deny that. They had a really soft schedule. And he's winning games, but are they winning games because of him?
Right. Now, Angelo, who is a Browns fan, I think he has a great take, and I want to read this out loud.
That is a great take. That is a very good take.
He said they got excuses all day for Baker. Never heard of a starting quarterback not being able to play with elite talent. They blame Odell Beckham Jr. for his inability, but he played worse when everyone said he would play better without Odell Beckham. Foolish Browns logic. That's why I don't talk to too many in the fan base. Not realistic at all. Listen, I think every fan base is really, crazy at times. I'm just saying, like, delusional. The Cowboys fan base, cocaine Cowboys, to be honest. But anyway, and he also says Baker's has terrible mechanic. He never sets his feet, which is true. He panics too quick. After his first read, even without pressure, he shrinks the field. Wow. I commend you. I think being a Browns fan, you have to be real. And I think being a Browns fan, you got to say, yo, listen, this is what it is. And we're happy to win, but we got to say what it is. Same thing with being a Niners fan with Jimmy G. Like, I mean, people want to say, oh, well, you were rooting with Jimmy G when y'all was winning last year. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Even when the 49ers were winning, I still said, I'm not sold on Jimmy G.
You did.
I said, listen, I'm glad we're winning. But like Angelo feels about Baker, you know, he doesn't set his feet. Wide open shots in the Super Bowl that would have gave us the Super Bowl win, and he's still continuing to play with that till this day. I think, you know.
But hold on, now I say this about Jimmy G though. Jimmy G is not dynamic, but Jimmy G is solid, and he's not. He won't, for the most of the point, he won't lose you a game. Even if you need to throw a lot, he won't lose you the game. I feel like Baker, on the other hand, could lose you a game. And he's not dynamic. Or at least he's not as dynamic as he thinks he is. Because he was able to run around and do things in college that he can't do in the pros.
These guys too smart.
Well, it's not that they're too smart. It's, dude, you played in the Big 12. There ain't no defense in the Big 12.
At all. At all. Angelo said, he said, if we talk schedule, the Steelers' schedule is weak. And now at the end of the day, you have to beat who's on your schedule. And that's true. That's true.
Well, look, the AFC North schedule in general was weak. There's no doubt about that. But I'm just saying, man, I watched some of those games. I seen the struggle that they had with Cincinnati. I'm talking about the Browns. I seen the struggle that they had with bad teams that they just should not have had struggles with.
I seen the Steelers get a gimme against the Cowboys too. But
I mean, listen, they had to play the NFC least.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are just 4 gimmies for everybody, honestly.
Everybody. I mean, so who's in the league? What aren't the Giants leading that division right now?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Honestly.
It doesn't.
Does it? There's not a team. I don't care who wins that division. They losing first round.
First round.
Don't care.
They losing before the game we start. I'm just saying. I
do not care. It's an L.
Right. He said it's only weak because we play the NFC East. Hey, everybody got to get their win somehow. Don't matter how you get it, man. It don't matter how you get it. Chris, man, any other topics that you want to talk about, man? I think I pre-hit everything I want to talk about. I think you did a great job of talking about the fight and explaining boxing. Also, and shouts out to Angelo, Hambone, Kenny, Jermaine, everybody that tuned in. Even at I appreciate everybody. Thank everybody. Also, man, I do. I don't want to, tell the business, but I do want to send my love and support to you, Chris, and to your family, especially to your brother Terrell, who's a long time, listener, supporter.
Yes, sir.
Definitely sending my love to everybody, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, but on that note, Chris, I don't have much more to say, man. I think we did a great job. I can't wait till we come back.
One thing we could talk about is how your Florida Gators cost me
go ahead.
dearly.
I know.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I know.
Here's the thing about betting. Okay.
Please do.
Yo, I talked to this man yesterday before I put in that bet for Florida.
Yes, you did.
Now, granted, I'm saying this after I won parlays later on in the day, but let me tell you why this stings and this hurts me. Because I said, yo, man, Tennessee sucks. Do they not suck, Quet?
Yes, they do.
They were on They was on a 5-game losing streak going against the number 6 ranked team in the country, Florida, who's supposed to have a high potent offense, correct?
Yes.
Yo, only scored 7 points in the first quarter. Now they got to win by the spread was 17.5, so they got to win by 18. They scored 7-3. There go my bro. I'm gonna hit you up after the show, Rel. Love him. I know what he's going through. So anyway, so they're up. They don't score in the first quarter. They go up 31.
Go Gators. Go ahead.
Fuck the Gators. They go up 31. They go up 31-7 with 6 minutes left. Mind you, they need to win by 18 to cover the bet. They literally let Tennessee, who couldn't move the ball other than one drive the whole game, they let the Tennessee volunteers go up and down the field twice in 6 minutes to get 2 touchdowns to break my bet. Let me tell you something. I am going to root for Alabama. I hate Alabama.
I hate Alabama too.
I hate Alabama. Like, I'm hoping Ohio State stays at number 4 so we could play them in the first round so we could beat them like we did in 2015 because I despise Alabama. I'm going to root for Alabama so hard when they play Florida because they left money on the table for good quality, wholesome bettors out there. And I need retribution. Let me
just say this.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go, man? Are we still live? Did you mess up?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there you go.
Again, I just want to. I'm a hater. The University of Florida football program, we are built on morals, respect, and principles. Okay. So when you're talking about betting for money, we don't do that, Chris. Okay. Because we are first athletes. I'm sorry. Student athletes. That's what we are, Chris. We are student athletes. So we might have cost you money, Chris. Yes, that could be true. But I tell you what we won't cost. We won't cost the American people's great tradition and principal student who will someday run this country. That's what we don't.
When I hit you up about the Florida bet, did you not tell me easy money?
Now,
did you not tell me easy money?
Allegedly. So listen, right? I want to say this, but I also told you, I told you, our defense is a bit suspect, okay? Our defense are playing like we are in the Big 12 right now, okay?
Here's the thing. You know what? I disagree with that take because your defense held them to 7 points for almost the entire game. And at the end, I understand playing a prevent defense.
But if I understand you look at how we've been playing all year, listen, I'm going to tell you what, our offense can bang with anybody. Okay, Pitts, trash, who's really surprised me because I didn't think he was going to be this good now. Our offense is going to get you money, okay? Now, our defense, on the other hand, it depends on who we playing. And I think for us, we are the team that plays down the competition. I think people think we're going to get blown out by Bama. That's not.
I hope so. Lord, I hope so.
It's not going to happen.
I hope so.
I'm going to tell you what. Our defense is going to show up, and you're going to be like, where have you been all season long?
I don't think so.
I'm telling you. That's what
I don't know what the line going to be for that game, but out of pure spite, I'm going to take Bama in the line no matter what. The line came out because the line was 29 for Bama versus LSU last night. They did cover like a real team. And even if it was 29 against Florida, which I think would be insane, I'll take it just out of pure.
All right. Well, go ahead. Now,
hate in my heart.
Now, there is a statistic that's been, I don't want to, it's a statistic or it's just a coincidence. They said every time LeBron James won a championship, so has Nick Saban.
That is true.
So that's what the hot take is, and that's what they've been saying, But my Florida Gators, we will show up. Again, we don't want to talk about no SEC championship. We want to take it a game at a time when we want to play who's in front of us. So that's how we can take this.
Let me tell you something. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait either, Chris.
I can't wait. I need this.
I'm not even looking to the SEC because we got people talking about we're gonna get blown out by Bama. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For it.
Because
let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
If they getting beat, you better ignore me. You better. And you're gonna be like, why are you taking this out on me? Because you're a Florida fan.
You better worry about Michigan.
Come on, fam. You know what Michigan about to do? Michigan about to forfeit the game so they can try to keep us out of the Big Ten championship.
I hope so because they need to. They need.
And this is what the Big Ten said. The Big Ten said, "Well, listen, if they don't play, then we need to find a way to get Ohio State the Big Ten championship game. So it don't matter what they do. I don't care what Michigan do, but that is real concern that Michigan is like, you know what?
Well, they got fired. Harbaugh got to get fired. He got to go. He got to go.
People have said that, and I'm going, well, what's your alternative? Here's the problem with Michigan fans. Y'all think y'all better than y'all really are.
Oh.
Y'all think y'all this elite program. Y'all haven't been for decades. When's the last time y'all played in the national championship?
1997.
Here's the thing. You've been up and down for years. You just don't want to admit it. I mean, after Lloyd Carr.
Yes,
after
that
Lloyd
was
Carr, who only beat the Buckeyes like twice. After that, you got your Brady Hoax and you got your Rich Rodriguez and then you got Harbaugh. Listen, y'all just, to be fair, there's only 4 elite programs in college football right now anyway.
That's true.
Y'all ain't one of them. So you're light years behind Ohio State in recruiting, in offense, defense, just the way that we approach the game in general. And they keep trying to get a hire that's going to bring their prestige back. But you're so far behind. Harbaugh is good for y'all. He's giving y'all almost, obviously not this year, but he's giving y'all like 10 wins a season. He's getting y'all to bowl games.
He's not winning.
That's what, okay, well, you're not good enough. And you need to be happy with that. Okay? They keep trying to think that they're on the level of Ohio State. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not.
I have to agree with you, Chris.
You're not. So what you need to do is become an old married couple and settle. Settle for what you got. Because let me tell you something. There's nothing out here in these streets for you. There ain't no national championships for Michigan. There ain't no litter of 5-star recruits for Michigan. There ain't, yo. You know where they go? They go to Clemson. They go to Bama. They go to Ohio State. They go to Georgia.
Florida.
No. Listen, that's where I'm done.
Listen. It's been a great time, and we got some games going on, and I know people watching, but I appreciate y'all. I don't know who this Focus Bill. No, leave my get off my channel. We don't want your affordable rates. We have people on Fiverr who can do it cheaper and better. Thank you. I appreciate you. But now we don't need you. Again,
get your plug. If you want to plug, just DM us.
Yeah, that's it.
We got rates, and we'll plug you. Whatever you do, we'll plug it up,
and we can work with you. But you're not gonna come up here and put a whole book about how you do this, that. Nah, I don't got time for that. Come on, man. Anyway, so I had fun today, Chris. Thank you, and again, our brother Ruck, get better, man. Please get better.
Ruck, drink some Metamucil.
Yes, man.
Some Hold on, them bones is brittle. Get some fiber in you.
Hold on, Chris. Hey, you might want to get your man the mom or the soup or something, man. You spoil every day. You be all right.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't gonna say what happened, but what the hell? I'm like, man, that's some old shit right there.
Oh,
Lord Jesus.
And it was probably something so simple. So simple. I mean, one step.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, listen. Thanks again for tuning to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. We really appreciate y'all. On behalf of the Rookery Report, I'm your man, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
We out of here.
Peace.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rookery Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.